Okay, good afternoon, guys. How are you doing today? It's a pleasure having you here with me. If you can hear me loud and clear, do signify by responding in the chat section. If you can hear me loud and clear, do reply by chatting me up in the comment section. Let me know that the audio level is good to go. We are here to talk about the non-farm payroll, which stands for NFP, which stands for the non-farm payroll. So that's what we're going to be discussing today. But I need your confirmation first of all before we proceed. I can see Abdul. Abdul said, "Good afternoon. Good afternoon to you too." I just want to confirm if the audio is good to go. Thank you. I can see Monday Emmanuel said, "We can hear you." Shroda Victory said, "Yes, I can hear you. Good afternoon." Beautiful. Okay, great. I can see everybody that are here with me as saying good afternoon. Awesome. So it's a pleasure having you guys here. And of course, once again, this is brought to you by 10 Trade. And my name is Tolu Olatunji, right? We're going to be monitoring time because we know in the next 30 minutes, the numbers for NFP will be out, and we'll talk about the NFP, what the numbers mean. And of course, we'll also look at the last NFP, the fundamentals for the NFP, and then the technicals. Because at the end of the day, you have to pay attention to both of them, right? Some things normally happen where the NFP, non-farm payroll employment numbers, when it comes out, is kind of positive, right? It's positive, but the next thing you will see the dollar tanking, right? And then people are wondering what is going on. So that's why we're going to be merging the two. We're going to be marrying the two together, the fundamentals and the technicals. But majorly, we're going to be at the very beginning looking at the fundamental side of it because this is the key data. It's a key economic indicator for the US based on jobs, basically, right? So thank you guys. I can see more people are joining us. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you guys. We have Solomon Musa here with us, Steph Ngaha, Wina Sopuruchuku, and Aziz Jimo, and a few more people. We want you guys to do something for us before we jump in. We still have some time. One thing I noticed is that whenever we're having like a non-farm payroll session like this, which happens to be the first Friday because it occurs first Friday of every new month. Whenever we're having this, most people are not able to attend, right? They say, "Oh, I'm in a trade. The trade is not going too well. I have to be watching the trade. I couldn't make it," right? So their attention is usually on the chat. But let's try to invite as many people as possible to join us because this is really going to help us out. We're going to look at some, right? You know, they say numbers don't lie, right? So as numbers don't lie, we're going to look at some things that have happened majorly for January, right? We're not going to look into, way back into last year. We're just going to look at the fresh last data for NFP numbers, and then we'll see what we can make out of it at the end of the day, right? So it's a pleasure having the rest of you join us, right? So you're welcome, you're welcome. We need more people to join. And this is brought to you by 10 Trade again. If you are just joining us, my name is Tolu. Please, we want you to do something, please, quickly. If you can follow 10 Trade on all our social media handles, you can like and comment on the post for 10 Trade. Please, we want you to kindly do that for us. That's one. And we want you to also do a few more things for us as well as we continue with what we have for you, right? Apart from the social media handles, also please follow us on YouTube, please. You need to also follow us on YouTube, right? Subscribe to our YouTube channel, comment, like, and of course, share the content with as many people as possible. And then also post this webinar advert, post this non-farm payroll. We're getting more momentum. We're about 12 people. Shedrack Victory said, you sent a message to me privately. I always like everybody to see the message, but I will still read it out for everybody to hear. I hope I'm allowed to do that, Shedrack Victory. Shedrack Victory said, I haven't received my reward for following. no problem. 10 Trade is going to get back to you, right? 10 Trade is not here for the day or for the week or for the month. We're here for the lifetime. And that's why, don't worry, your reward, when you get it, you will be, you would smile at the end of the day, trust me. Because I'm also trying to see how, as I'm working with 10 Trade, how to give out some sessions, like maybe like we have a quick 30-minute session and we can discuss your trading, find out the issues that you are having, and of course, look for solutions to them. Because I can tell you for a fact, I don't know whether there's anybody that is guilty of what I'm about to say. I can tell you for a fact that people are crashing their accounts, people are blowing their accounts. And of course, we have some people that have already crashed their accounts today, right? Today, or they will crash their account today. It is not a cost. I'm telling you, it is not a cost at all. Some people will still crash their accounts today because they do not understand the news, how to either trade it or to stay away from it. Because at times you might be able to trade it and at times you might not be able to trade it. It's not in every situation that you jump into the market. But what we're here to do is to see how we can take advantage of it. And as I said, I'm going to be a timekeeper. So you might see my eyes very off. I might be checking maybe my phone or my laptop to monitor the timing, because we want this timing to merge with 2:30, just prior to 2:30. Then we'll strictly be on our chat and then be looking at the reaction to the news, right? So as we're saying now, please follow us on the social media handles. That is what I just posted for everybody to see in the comment section. And then on the YouTube as well, please kindly do the same thing. As Mr. Shredder said, he still hasn't gotten his reward. Don't worry, 10 Trade will get back to you. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. And also, Shredder Victory, I hope you have your account manager's details. You can also reach out to your account manager and inform your account manager as well, right? So inform your account manager with respect to that. So I just dropped the handles for everybody to follow, and also please put out this information on your WhatsApp status and other places. So Mr. Shredder Victory, do that for us. We have more people joining in. Beautiful, right? I love the fact that we are here and we are willing to learn. We're willing to try to trade the NFP and see what we can make out of it. So send your screenshots to your account officer on WhatsApp, and then also give out your full name and your 10 Trade ID. If you don't have a 10 Trade ID, it means you don't have an account with 10 Trade. What you should do, get back to the person that gave you this link to join us, right? And then the person will help you to get your 10 Trade ID so you can submit it, and just be on standby, just like Mr. Shredder Victory, and that gift, that reward will be coming shortly, right? So if you do not have, as I just said, an account, get back to the person who invited you. And then anyone who completes this will get a surprise gift from us. A quick disclaimer, please. We need to throw out this disclaimer, especially for this very volatile period. The non-farm payroll, the NFP, is a key data, is a key economic indicator to the US economy to help us to know how the economy is doing. And with respect to that, there tends to be a lot of volatility. I'm going to give you some other symptoms, some other things that normally happen during the NFP. We're talking about the NFP for now, but we can also generalize it to high impact news, right? So volatility is going to be high today. That's without a doubt. So we need to pay attention to that. So a quick disclaimer for everybody. Please, as we are going to be trying to trade the NFP now, please make sure that your risk management is on point. I repeat, make sure that your risk management is on point. If you don't understand how to calculate your risk management, we concluded a beginner's class that was taken by Toby Okunuga. So you can always also join that next week as well, right? So that you don't place trades, use the wrong lot size, and then you have major issues on your live account. We don't want that, right? 10 Trade is not the broker that wants you to just be losing your money. That's not the aim. It's for everybody to make money at the end of the day. We all know what is happening in the country, in Nigeria. I believe we're all from Nigeria, right? And I wanted to address that a bit while monitoring the time. This is about 10 minutes after 2. I wanted to address that a bit based on what is happening with the banks, what's happening with CBN and the rest. And CBN are meant to be, major policy makers, and with all what is happening with the money issues, you can't withdraw, even online banking has issues, and they're giving you money in new notes. The banks are meant to be for safekeeping, number one, for you to be able to get your money at any point in time, but that is not looking, so it's a thing of, you need to know what you are doing with your money. And I tell people, you need to invest your money. That's it. Warren Buffett would also tell you that you need to be able to invest your money for the long term. That's why I said 10 Trade is not here for the day or for the week or for the month. We're here for the lifetime. And that's why you're here in the right place. Thank you, guys. The numbers are increasing. We have about 19, 20 people now. Please, let's bump up the numbers. And I hope I'm not rushing. I hope I'm not talking too fast. Please let me know. Because at times, just prior to the news, when things start to pick up a bit, I might be doing like a form of commentary. I might be talking a bit fast, right? So let me know if I'm talking way too fast for you. Let me know, and I could slow down. So I'm going to wait for your comments to come in. Excuse me. I'm going to wait for your comments to come in. Let me know if I am too fast for you, right? Please let me know so I can slow down, or we can keep the pace as it is, right? So now we're going to do something. Now you can see this is the dollar. This is the dollar index, since the data is for the dollar. So we need to study the dollar, number one. And I tell traders that this dollar helps other major currency pairs. Okay, thank you. Godwin Sami said, no, you are not. Ariyo Adeniyi said, we are okay with it, sir. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So I'm going to be doing a lot of commentary prior to the news, right? So I'm sure you remember how the commentaries are for football. Thank you, Johnson. Johnson said you're okay, thanks. Okay, so what we have in front of us is the charts. This is the technical side of it, the technicals for last month. As you can see, I did the markings here for us to see. Please also confirm that you can see my chart as well. As this Jimo said, is this session going to be recorded? Yes, it's going to be recorded, but we want you to be here live because we're talking about trading live with 10 Trade. We're going to see how we can hopefully make some pips. Yes, that's what we're going to be doing right now, make some pips, if the market allows us. Okay, blessed Akpabio said, I can see the charts. Thank you. So let's continue. So these are the charts that we have right in front of us. But then I want to take you to the numbers from last month, January. We're going to look at the numbers from last month and come back to the chart and see whether the fundamentals, whether it's aligned with the technicals. Because the fundamentals for the numbers, it could give you good, meaning that you're supposed to be buying the dollar, but then it doesn't go your way. It goes the other way, right? And then traders start to ask, oh, what happened? What's going on? I clicked on buy, but the market went down. And then I smile because that is not how to trade. I don't know whether you guys understand what I'm talking about, whether you are guilty of that now or you've been guilty of it before. You just wait for the numbers to come out, and numbers come out, and then you see good, and then you start clicking on buy or clicking on whatever. But it does not work that way. I repeat, it does not work that way all the time. So you need to be careful. You need to be very, very careful with what we have over here. So now look at this quickly. I need to be monitoring time, 13 minutes. Now look at this quickly. This is January. If you look very well, this is January 6th. Let me just do some markings here to help our eyes out as we continue. This was last month, Friday, January 6th. As I said, the non-farm, that is it here, the non-farm employment change in NFP. This has to do with job employment. And of course, if the numbers, I'm going to explain to you how to interpret the news as well, right? So if the numbers are good, then we should be buying the USD, right? If the numbers are good, then we should be buying the USD. And if the numbers are bad, then we should be what? We should be selling the dollars, right? The dollar, right? So now look at what we had over here. This is last month, and let me just scroll up a bit and show you something quickly. Let me just scroll up and show you something. You can see we have actual here. We have the actual, we have the forecast, and then we have what? Previous. We have actual here, we have the forecast, and then the previous. I just want to show you how to interpret this numbers, right? So this one, NFP last month, Friday, January 6th, we had the actual at 223 as opposed to the forecast of 200. And this was the previous, this was for December. This was the December numbers that we had. So for this here, we're going to be focusing on the actual and the forecast. The forecast is what comes out. That's why it's called a forecast. Forecast is like a prediction, right? What they're expecting the numbers to be. But it doesn't mean that is what the number is going to be. It could either be around that number, above, or below, right? So the forecast for January was 200K, meaning that 200,000 new jobs were created for US citizens. And then look at what we had over here. The actual was now 223. 223 is greater than 200. That means that they did much better, right? It was much better. The numbers were much better than the forecast. And that's why the color here is green. And because the numbers were much better, this is a thing of buying. We're supposed to be buying the USD at that point in time at 230. Do you understand this point? We have about just 15 more minutes before we fully look at the chart, and then we wait for the outcome. I want to quickly look at what happened last month and to help us to understand what might happen this month today, right? So quickly, hope you guys understand that interpretation. This is how you're going to be interpreting the news, by the way. You can see the numbers are better than the 200K, where the information states, and just click here, the information states that for the usual effect, that is actual greater, right? You can read it quickly. Actual greater than forecast is good. And when we say good, good means that we are supposed to be buying. Okay, thank you. Aria Adini said understood. Sorry, I might not be able to read all the comments on all. We need to be a bit fast because this is time. And we all know that time is money. So this is what we had over here for last month. Buy. So that means that we're supposed to be buying the USD, right? As we're supposed to be buying the USD. Now let's quickly cross over to the chart. So let's go back to the charts for last month. And then let's look at what happened to the USD, right? So here, good. So here it is. Look at what happened to the USD, right? I'm going to do something for you. Let me just hit this shortcut, and I'm going to show you the information that we have here. This is for Friday, right? If you look very well, this is Friday. This is Friday's data, and this is January 6th, Friday. You can see 5th January here. The next one is 6th January. So as this is Friday, let's look at what happened on Friday, because that's when the news came out. On Friday, what happened? We had the US dollar drop. Listen to this carefully. I want you guys to pay attention to this, because most people, right, when they get the information, this was when it started to drop. When they get the information from the non-farm payroll, oh, the non-farm payroll was what? Is good for the dollar. And you can see this is the dollar over here, the USD index, right? DXY, right? So as you can see this over here, and they said good, people would have been clicking on buy, and then they would have been expecting it to go up, right? But look at what happened. It did what? It tanked. It went down. And then that's when I start to tell people, that's why we marked out this information. This is information for the week, right? That's NFP week, because the NFP week, the build up is very, very important. I can see from when the week started from here, it went all the way up here. What does that mean? That means that from the technical point of view, a pullback was what was expected. I repeat, a pullback was expected in the market. And this pullback that we got from here, you'd have been expecting it to get to this point over here of support, or maybe get to this point over here of support, right? So this was very, very valid. Thank you. The numbers are increasing. More people should join us. It's almost time. We're going to cross over after this. This is the data for last month. So we're going to look at the data for this month today and see what we can make out of it, and see whether we can get any opportunities in the markets. One thing I would also tell you, because of the volatility, most likely you will not get price action candles like the pin bars, hammers, and engulfers. You will probably get just some big candles. So you need to be able to get the direction right, and then do the needful, place the trades, use your proper risk management, because trust me, risk management is very, very important over here, right? And you need to ensure that you can calculate your risk properly. And then if you can't, I always tell people, for now, use 0.01. One thing with this NFP, one thing with this non-farm payroll, based on the volatility, some things normally happen. You could easily have gaps. You could have gaps in the market. Maybe I'll try to explain gaps much later, because it's roughly about 10 minutes now. I want us to go to the information for today. We must look at the information for today, the numbers that we're expecting, the 193,000 for the forecast. and then we look at the charts as well and see how we can merge the two of them together. So based on the volatility, we normally have gaps. The spread could also increase. You could have what is known as slippage. Slippage is something that is not from the broker, it's from the market, and this is as a result of the high impact news. So quickly now, let's look at what we have in front of us. Then I'll quickly cross over to today's information. So we had this over here, and this was a case of the market for the week, right, for the dollar had extremely been bullish. So there was a pullback that was expected, and then the fundamentals was telling us that it was what? That it was good. But meanwhile, it tanked all the way down. So that means that a lot of people would have gotten burnt over here, right? Because they were expecting to buy here or maybe buy at the support areas. But looking at the reaction to support areas, it did not give any reason for an entry or for a trigger, right? And this is also here. This is also an area that could have been of interest. And mind you, Friday, we're looking at this based on intraday. It has to be very fast. That's why people tend to make plenty money very fast during non-farm payroll, and they can also lose plenty money very fast as well. So now I want to quickly rush over to the data for today. And so let me just show you this based on last month, January 6th, what happened, which threw a lot of people off guard. But if you look at the technicals, you knew for a fact that the charts as it is, as we have in front of us, was telling us that there's a pullback. A pullback is needed in this scenario, in this particular scenario. Because I can tell you for a fact that this scenario is different from the one that we have for today. And I'm going to show you today's one now. So if you had sold over here, even though the fundamentals was telling it was good, you'd have made a good number, a good amount of pips. And you know, NFP is very risky. And as I've said, use small amount of risk. When you place your trades, most traders don't even use stop loss. Or you could use a stop loss that has a much bigger buffer, right? So now quickly, this is the dollar information for today, for this week. And that's why you can see I marked this out here. So the beginning of the week with this vertical line, right? And you can see the information. The full information for this chart that we have in front of us, 1 hour, you can see is to the downside. So I'm going to show you something quickly. Is to the downside. Now let's quickly switch back to our Forex factory. I'm going to switch back to the Forex factory and then show you the information that we have for today. Now for today, if you look very well, what we are expecting, because we're looking at the forecast, right? We have to look at the forecast first of all, because the forecast is telling us 193. You can see this was the 223K that we got last month, January. That was January 6th. And then today, February 3rd, right? We're expecting 193. So this 193 for the actual, you can see there's no actual here because it is not yet 230. I repeat, it is not yet 230. Once this is 230, we're going to refresh this page and then we have the actual figures here. So what are your expectations? What do you guys think? Is it going to be higher than the 193 or is it going to be lower than the 193? What are your expectations? Do you have any idea? Because you could also get some information from other places, like I check Forex Live that give live updates and some other websites as well. But we're just keeping this simple because of time. Maybe when the news comes out and we can slow down the pace a bit because the volatility is going to be high. I'm going to show you some things that we need to fully pay attention to. Volatility going to be high. We need to be ensure that our risk is good to go. Please make sure that if you're placing any trade in this period, you're using a comfortable lot size, a comfortable volume. 0.01 will be ideal. I repeat, 0.01 will be ideal. This is probably new to a lot of people, and we don't want a situation where you are crashing accounts. That's why at times I might not even advise to place trades. But what numbers are you expecting? Do you think it's going to be higher? Do you think it's going to be lower? I can't see any information or anything coming from you guys, and that's because probably you're not sure, right? But then what I normally say is don't crack your head too much on whether the numbers are going to be higher or lower, because even a lot of analysts, they don't know. They just speculate based on what has been happening. It should be higher, it might be lower. One thing I can also tell you, okay, I have a comment here, indecisive. Thank you. That's from Abdul. Abdul, he's not sure, and which is a very, very valid answer. One thing I'm going to tell you quickly, we have about 6 more minutes, so we have to switch back to the chat shortly. And I know I'm talking fast, but let's continue. Now, what I'm going to talk about quickly now is that, of course, there has been a lot of recession talks for a while now, since last month and since last year, and they said even this year like the US are in recession or not, with what has been happening with respect to the inflation and the continuous hike in the interest rates, right? There's now been a thing of the job numbers have been good. So it's a bit of confusion. The job numbers are meant to be dropping, but job numbers are more or less good, have been good for a while. But notwithstanding, this is 5 more minutes. So now that we don't know what the numbers are going to be, let's just quickly switch over to the chart. And I want to show you something because it's going to happen very fast. When I snap my fingers to show you how fast it's going to be. So that means that as it's going to happen very fast, you need to also rely on your technicals, whether you like it or not. So you're going to be flipping through your technicals and your fundamentals. This is what I'm going to quickly state over here, looking at the chart that we have in front of us. This is the information for the week. I can see for the week, we can easily say that for the week, and that's what I'm saying for the week from here. Even for the entire chart, it's more or less down. So for the week, it is down, and I would like to see this NFP today, before the end of the day, get down to this lows of about 100.70 area. For that to happen, that means that I want to see a weak dollar, meaning that the dollar should be weak, meaning that even if from the forex factory, listen carefully, even if from the forex factory, if the numbers say for the dollar it is good, we should be buying, I might not probably be doing that. I might probably be looking forward to selling, right? Because this information here is, for me, is pointing towards a sell, no matter what the numbers are. Listen carefully. No matter what the numbers are for the non-farm payroll, it's pointing towards a sell for me. And that means that I would personally like to see something like this, where the market pushes higher to this point here and then drops all the way down. You can see this is also an area of interest where we have some support here. Now, you need to also understand your support and resistance levels, because that's what we are using to look at this chart. And this scenario, guys, listen to this carefully. This scenario is totally different from last monsoon. Last monsoon was a bit easier, but this one here, because it is currently sitting at this area of support, right? So some people might already be positioned for a buy. Listen to this, it might be positioned for a buy, but then I'm more inclined to a sell here. And as I'm more inclined to a sell here, this is what I can easily do. Because it is non-farm payroll, I can easily set a pending order, right? I can easily set the sell limit pending order, right? Okay, and setting the sell limit pending order for this one on the dollar, right? You don't have to trade the dollar directly, please. You don't have to trade the dollar directly. You could trade like the Euro USD, because if for the Euro USD, if you're going to be selling this over here, listen guys, if you're going to be selling this over here for Euro USD, you should be expecting a buy situation, right? So if I cross over to the Euro USD, you should be expecting a buy situation. That simply means that I'm looking forward to, and we have 2 more minutes, I'm looking forward to price coming down here and then pushing higher. You can see it's currently at an area of support as well, so it might push higher, but all the same, I would love the price to come back here, so I can easily set a buy limit here. You can see I haven't put stop loss. Normally my stop loss will be much lower, below this point here, but I want to see the reaction, and that is why you need to have good internet. You need to be in front of your system. It's going to be a rush. I can easily put a stop loss for safety. Please, you need to protect your account. Please, guys, you need to protect your account. I can easily put a stop loss. I'm looking at my chart over here, and I'm trying to set a stop loss around this area here. You can see 1.08575, and that's what I set over here. I'm going to modify this quickly, and the stop loss is here. My stop loss is here on this particular chart. I'm not going to pay attention to it. This is what I would like to see. I would like to see the price, right, get down to this point here, pick up my order, and then push higher. I'm expecting some volatility, and that means that we may have a big candle, something like this, right? Now, if you look at what we have over here, you can see the same scenario played out. It dropped all the way to this point here, judging by the wick of this candle, and then pushed higher all the way here. So I would like to see a similar scenario here for the Euro USD. It's a few seconds. We're going to do this now. I'm going to have to be fast. This is the information for the dollar. Don't forget, we're paying attention to the dollar. So I'm going to quickly switch over. I need to quickly switch over. To the charts. It's almost, I'm going to be doing something here. This is what a lot of people are doing all over the world. They're refreshing. It's about a few seconds. Let's see where that numbers have come in. We need to refresh this from here. It's a few seconds. Let's hang on a bit. We click here to refresh. to see whether the numbers come out. Everybody all over the world. I remember some 6, 7, 10 years ago, we used to crash the Forex factory. It's telling us, hold on, still trying to refresh to get the numbers. Don't forget green. If you have the numbers as green, it means it is higher. And as I'm doing this, we can also switch over to our charts quickly. We're going to be switching over quick. Oh, wow. Look at what happened over here. This is crazy. This is crazy. You can see we set a penny order here. Look at what happened. It took us out and then it's pushing higher. Look at the candle size that we have over here. Look at the candle size that we have over here. And you can see something. We said something what? We said for the Euro USD, we're going to use stop loss. You can see for the stop loss, we've gotten knocked out very fast, which is good, which is very good, because we put a protection for our account. And you can see what has happened over here. These numbers are crazy. Or rather, this candle is crazy for the NFP. Let's quickly go back. I need to check on the numbers. Aha, can you see somebody said, winner said the spread is wide. That means that this NFP for this period is crazy. So at times you could also wait to see the reaction over here. We've set a penny order just for the fast pace, right, of what we're expecting. Let's switch over back to the NFP. Let's try and see the numbers over here. Let's refresh. Look at what we have over here, guys. I don't know what to say. Look at what we have over here. These numbers are what? These numbers are insane. Now, this is it. I'm going to explain some things to you because I'm really rushing and it's a rush. It's really crazy. You can see the numbers here is what 517 as opposed to 193. We were asking ourselves earlier, is it going to be higher or lower? Is it going to be higher or lower? And this is not just higher by a bit. This is higher by a crazy, I don't know what to say, guys. This is a crazy number. And that is why, this is what I'm going to tell you guys. This is what I'm going to tell you guys. If we saw this number as 517, that is crazy, very high, this is what we would have done, right? This is what we would have done. We would have known that we're supposed to be buying the USD, right? We're supposed to be buying the USD easily, because these numbers, without a brainer, the numbers 517 is much higher than 193. This area where we had the support, this could have been a good area for us to jump in aggressively, and then stop loss would have been much lower, right? So this is what we're looking at over here. The numbers are crazy for this NFP, and trust me, if you check places like Forex Live and some other news resources, even on Forex Factory, analysts are going to be talking about these numbers now. And then looking at what we have over here on the dollar, you can see we had this big push. Now look at this candle. You remember we said this candle size, we're expecting it to be like this one from earlier this week from the FOMC, right? We had the FOMC on Wednesday at about 8:30 p.m. Nigerian time. Of course, we knew like FOMC is crazy numbers, and you can see what we had over here. These numbers over here, 517, it broke out from this area here that we said, oh, based on the trend, would have loved to have been selling. It broke out and destroyed this area here. And look at what we have here. Look at what's going on. Because we had, listen to this carefully, guys, because we had sellers present here. There's one thing sellers normally do to how will I put it? Let me quickly rush this. There's one thing sellers normally do. I don't know whether you guys have heard about fading or like a martingale. This thing I'm talking about here is very, very dangerous. But a lot of traders normally do this, even like the big banks that have good liquidity, they normally do this as well. Now, this martingale fading, what they normally do when they have a position here, right? Their first sell, they don't use stop loss. They could have some other sell positions here, right? They could stack up, right? And as they stack up, their risk management is always on point, because they know from this point where the candle started from, there's no way they will have a candle that will move from here, one candle that will move from here all the way to the highs of the week. So they stack up and they could have one position in, two position in, 3, 4, and then when this week starts to drop, they could easily do what? They could be paying attention. They're not using stop loss. Most people don't use spread, they don't use stop loss. And this is very, very dangerous. You could easily make a lot of money during this period using this kind of fading position. You can see you can see what's happening over here. This week from this high is going down. It's showing that there's sellers inside this present dollar candle for the hour. Even with the numbers that we had, 517 is insane. I don't know which other word to use. 517 is insane. And you can see we were not even, listen to this, guys. we were not even monitoring the spread because I didn't have time to be looking at the spread from here to monitor the spread, because you can also monitor the spread. Where is it? You can also monitor the spread. If I can quickly find the spread that is, oof, it's a bit of a rush. Where is the spread over here? If I could quickly find the spread, yeah, this is spread over here. You can easily monitor the spread by clicking on the spread and then paying attention to what we have over here. And then as the spread is wide, I repeat, as the spread is wide, don't worry, with 10 trade, you always get good spread. You get good spread. Look at what we have over here. The spread under 10 trade for Euro USD is not even up to 1 pip over here. You can see it's struggling with 8.9. This 8.9 is in pipettes. Is the GBP USD that is around 1.0, 1.9. As you can see, that's around 1 pip and then some pipettes. And look at what we still have over here. You can see the candle is still pushing higher. But wait for it. It doesn't mean that it's going to end as a high. It could still drop down some more. So this is what traders normally do from their martingale, from their fading. They easily calculate the risk management properly. Now, I must mention also that this is a very dangerous way to trade. Please do not try this at home. Normally, I would even say if you're a beginner, don't look to trade the news directly. You would always hear me say that. But for those that are risk takers and they know how to analyze, look at the market, and then how to come up with fail-safe mechanism. This fail-safe mechanism based on fading, based on martingale, is something that traders normally do. It works a lot, but it could also fail. If it fails, you accept your losses, meaning that if it's going to fail, then you know in this kind of situation, we've had about 1 position in, 2 positions in, 3 positions in, and then 4 positions in, and then you've had a handful of losses. They accept the losses. That's why a lot of traders normally record some crazy numbers during NFP. Now, let me quickly ask you guys, I hope nobody got injured by this NFP. Quickly, guys, let me get your feedback. I hope nobody got injured by the NFP numbers, because these numbers are totally crazy. Now, based on what we have over here, and from what I can see, right, based on being a risk taker, I can easily jump back in, right? I can easily jump back in and then place a trade right now, right? I need to adjust the volume for this. I can easily jump right in, place my sell invalid prices, what's going on. Okay, let's do that for the Euro USD. I can easily do this, jump in on the Euro USD and place my trade. Okay, I can see some comments coming in. I'm going to get to the comments shortly. Let's adjust this again. Euro USD, we can use the smallest one and then we'll place on a buy. And then you could also do a quick one, another buy limit here, just in case it dips lower and then pushes higher. Remember, we're supposed to have an entry here. So this is what it should have looked at if we're doing this kind of martingale, right? You can put a buy stop here and then put another one here, because this is what we would have had if we're doing the martingale fading. But I didn't want to mention it because of the pace, the speed. Let me just adjust this a bit, because this one I'm doing is also just eyeballing it. But what traders normally do, they normally use a form of what's it called? A form of like a fixed amount of pips, maybe after every 20 pips, 30 pips, because that candle, as I'm telling you, that candle cannot drop like 200 pips all the way down. Just that candle. Even if there's going to be a follow-up, they're going to wait for the candle to close. They're going to wait for this particular candle to close. And when it closes, listen, guys, when it closes, then they now decide on what they want to do. Meaning that if it's going to drop, if there's another candle, the next candle, if it drops further, they can decide, okay, good. It seems that this number for NFP wants to stay, and I'm going to take out all my losses and accept them. So let's look at what happens using these areas as an example. Let's look at the comments. Okay, thank you. Monday said, not me, great. Blessed said no. Winner said no, I had a running trade. Oh, you had a running trade? I hope it is positive. I hope it is positive, because if it's not positive at the very beginning, this here, as I'm showing you, is a fail-safe mechanism, right? I can see the numbers have dropped. I don't know whether some people had losses and they're sober now. Please let us know, talk to us. That's why we're here. Part of the reward, part of the gift that I believe that you guys will be getting is like, you could have like a session with me. You could have like a quick session with me. I'm going to talk to the management of 10 Trade and see how I could also be involved in the reward, and then give you guys, maybe a few of you guys. Don't forget, you guys have to be, you know, pushing the numbers. I wanted to say 50. I wanted to say 50 this week for our live market sessions, or even this NFP. I think I took my eyes off, but I think we got up to about 27, which is absolutely good. So I want to say thank you guys for that. But then we need more numbers. Okay, Frances said good. Okay, great. Blessed said I had a running trade as well. AUD CHF in profit now. Okay, AUD CHF, that really has nothing to do with the dollar, right? So I can also switch over to the AUD CHF for you and see what we have. Now, one thing I want to tell you guys, right? Okay, Chuku said I joined before the big bearish candle in Euro USD went very well. You joined before, mean that what you are selling. I didn't quite get that. Were you selling the Euro USD? You're selling before the big bearish candle. Okay, okay, great. I can see that for those that are here, you didn't enter any issue whatsoever, which is good. And that's how it is supposed to be, right? So from what we can see over here, you can see the candle is still ongoing. And one thing that used to fascinate me. Sorry, I'm really rushing. One thing that used to fascinate me, maybe I should change the choice of English. Right? One thing that used to catch my attention was that back then, when the candle is forming, you see a big candle, that big candle, oh, I'll be rushing to follow the candle and be selling. But one thing that used to, catch my attention is in that big candle, you can see now it seems to have gotten to a low for now, and it seems to be pushing higher. My question now is, who is buying? Who is buying at this point here as it's trying to push higher? Who is buying? Who are those that are, I don't know whether we should use the word crazy enough, who are those that are crazy enough, or who are those that have the liquidity, the type of liquidity to be buying when traders are selling, to be going against this? You can see what's happening here. It's still trying to come here, and this could be 1, 2, 3. That would be about 3 positions in if we had done the fading here. And this news period is usually very crazy. Please, I do not advise this for traders. I'm just showing you what I would do in this situation based on my risk management, based on my account balance. I'll be able to do this comfortably by using small lot size, because you're accumulating very fast. News period is the period where people could easily, and you could have this here. You could have maybe this load for the week. Let me put this here. I think for this week, we should have something around here. I think around the 30th was Monday. So we have something around here for Monday for this week. So if it gets to this lows over here, around here, this could be your reason to just close all the positions and accept your losses, right? But this is a very dangerous way to trade, and a dangerous way to trade for a dangerous situation. It fits each other. But please do not attempt this at home. We could talk about this some more, and I could give you more information. Okay, Chuki said, yes, I was selling, sir. Okay, great. That means that you should be in profit, cover up, take some profit, manage your trades appropriately. You could close half or part of it or whatever and leave it. If you're the type of trader that you leave your trades run over the weekend, maybe you could leave it over the weekend after protecting yourself properly, leave it over the weekend and see whether it might move more in your favor. Okay, when I said just move a stop loss to be safe on USD JPY, you can see it has the dollar in it, so it would have been crazy as well. Looking at the numbers that we had, 517, USD JPY would have been to the moon. So we can as well just quickly do this one as well. Where's USD JPY? I can just click on this and drag this in, and we see USD JPY flying to the moon as well. Flying to the moon, beautiful. I love this USD JPY. As I love it, looking at what I have over here, I can see an area here of interest, right? This is an area here of interest for selling. So you can as well be attempting a sell over here. But these numbers are totally crazy. This 517 is crazy, right? You can put in a fresh sell here, right? Because I didn't see any reason to sell at all these places if I was looking at USD JPY. This could have been crazy. But another thing, please do not accumulate. I repeat, do not accumulate too much on different dollar pairs. Mean that do not jump into Euro USD, jumping on dollar yen, jumping on pounds USD, jumping on USD Switzerland francs, and so on. It is always best to stick to just one currency pair. So if it doesn't go in your favor, then you are out. Because you can see this is still flying. Now this is it. We have 16 more minutes. I repeat, we have 16 more minutes to the close of this 1 hour candle. So I would like to see the close. The close will help me to know what we're going to be doing to this our Euro USD. You can see it has picked up this other one, And we can easily do something. I could easily do something where I just drag this down. Oh, okay, this one hasn't triggered yet, sorry. But the ones that I've triggered, like this one here, I can easily drag it down to this point. Dragging it down is a fast way, because you need to be fast. It's a fast way for me to set my stop loss. This one too that triggered over here, I can easily drag it down, and this is me setting my stop loss here. You can see that these ones are pending orders, because this is what I would have done, right? This is what I would have done if I was fast enough, because I just set a pending order here and set a stop loss as a fail-safe mechanism for just one position. But if you know how to fade, you could test this and see how it works for you on a demo account, please. This account here is a demo one to show you what could happen in the market. But I'm still going to reiterate that 517. That 517 is just too crazy. You could go over to different platforms and you can see they're talking about it. Okay, beautiful. I love the fact that people have already started making money during the NFP, and that's what TenTrade wants from everybody. Winner said just move stop loss to be safe on USDJPY, which is absolutely awesome. Dominic said, I took out my trades long ago. I observed contradiction. Beautiful. I observed contradiction. And based on those 517 numbers, that's why I said those numbers is just too crazy. And as it is too crazy, I would have most likely done what I probably would have been on the sidelines, because the numbers is what is producing this candle. Can you see the size of this candle? This is the biggest candle, without a doubt. This is the biggest candle for this week, and it was expected with the 517. To tell you the truth, the forecast was about 193K. That was 193,000. I was expecting something around the 200 range. Even if it was going to be good, I was expecting something around the 200 range. But 193 to 517, that's about more than 2 times. It's going close to 3 times the expected numbers of 193, which is crazy. That's maybe like 2.5 times. Okay, I can see Winner said hit TP. Awesome, awesome. And what I like also, listen to this, guys. What I like also is the fact that you guys, I believe, right, that you guys placed this trade before the NFP came out. Am I correct? I'm going somewhere with that question. So for those that said they got good positions in for what's the name, for this NFP that just came out, that has to do with the dollar, USD, JPY, and so on. I believe you guys, you entered before the news. Am I correct? If you entered before the news, I'm sure you are also aware that the news could have gone either way. The news could have been, you know, the other way as well. Instead of USD, JPY flying up, it could have gone down as well, and you could have had candles like this, and you could have been stuck. One thing I always tell traders is that you need to always look for a fail-safe mechanism, meaning that no matter what, you need to be able to protect yourself. USDJPY Winner said, hit take profit, awesome. Okay, so you need to be able to protect your account as well, no matter what. So protect your account. Risk management is very key. I always say risk management because you're going to have losses, and as you'll be having losses, you need to understand what you are doing, right? You need to understand what you are doing, meaning that your losses should not make you sad at the end of the day. I repeat, your losses should not make you sad at the end of the day. You should be thinking of, you had losses, it's part of the business, you move on. Your account balance is still standing. Based on what is happening here, based on this approach of fading these crazy numbers, 517, this is totally dangerous. Somebody could have easily decided to just close all the positions and accept the losses, and then maybe even drop to lower time frames. There are different ways to look at this scenario. I'm sorry that I'm rushing because of what just happened. This is something that is going to be talked about even up to next week, and this is something that's going to be talked about even up to next month, because now I always tell traders that do not underestimate price, do not underestimate the market. 517, these are numbers that are totally crazy, right? I doubt a lot of analysts saw this coming, but based on what we had over here, remember we said based on the volatility that we're expecting, you will have gaps, meaning that based on the speed, the market could move from this point to this point. There could be a gap, right? That's what a gap is. Spread could easily increase, and we also noticed that the spread increased as well. For those that were monitoring the spread, I believe somebody said that the spread was crazy. I can't remember the English that the person used, but let me try and scroll up as well. Please, guys, if you have any questions, please comment now. If you have any questions, let us know. Okay, that was from Winner. Winner said the spread is wide AF. I'm sure you guys know what AF is. I'm not going to mention what AF means, but you can see from that expression, you know that the spread was really wide, and it is expected because the spread being wide is to buffer for what just happened. It's like saying in Nigeria, based on dollar to naira, the period when there was high volatility, you notice that if you are buying the dollar or you're selling the dollar, based on the two for that day, you would be having like a 10 naira difference. I don't know whether you guys ever noticed that in 2022, probably like the Q3, the third quarter period, second quarter period, Q2, Q3 period, the spread was totally crazy when it was flying, out of control, like what we have over here. Because this kind of hybrid front of us is crazy. It was flying. So that buffer, the spread was really wide during that period. I don't know that you guys noticed that, because that's what also happened today as well. And then slippage. Slippage is something. Let me explain slippage quickly. You can see there's still some buyers inside here, inside this big candle. You would always be finding things like that. But I always say, wait for this candle to close, right? To have a better understanding of what you want to do. Remember, we just put all our stop losses at this point, more or less at the lows of the week as a form of fail safe, so that we don't incur losses that are too big. Because one thing can also happen before the end of the day, you could have a turnaround and it could push higher here or push higher here. And if that happens, that means that all these positions that you have in, they have easily turned from losses to profit. But please, 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 it is totally dangerous. And for this dangerous period, I'm just using that to explain to everybody so that you understand much better. You can see there are people that are buying here based on the week. And we have about 9 more minutes to the close. I repeat, we have about 9 more minutes to the close of this hourly candle that could easily give us some more information. The next candle, please pay attention. The next candle could just drop down and then take us out, no problem. Or the next candle could push us higher. If you push us higher, there are things that you could do, right? You can see you might have had about 2, 3, 4 positions in. If you push it higher to like the second position, you could close this one at break even, because this one will be 0. You will close one at a maybe negative of 20. This one could be plus 20, plus 40. At the end of the day, when you close all the pluses and minuses, you'll still be in the green. You'll still be in positive. So there are different ways to place trades during the NFP period or even high impact news period. But one thing is sure, and that is it is a very, very dangerous period. And we all need to be what? We all need to understand that, and understand that you could easily smile to the bank like some people did easily in a very fast period, but the next period might not be so. Listen carefully. The next period might not be so, and we don't want a situation where your account goes heavily in the red. Because let me ask this question and find out from you guys that are here. Has anybody crashed an account based on news? If you crashed an account based on news, please let us know. And if you have any question, please let us know as well. This was a pretty energetic period because you can see over here where we have the numbers here for the bid and the ask for the selling and buying prices. You can see everything is jumping, everything is looking, kind of chaotic, it's a rush. You understand? That's the volatility that's been involved with the NFP, right? So please take note of that. Please, if you have any question, feel free to ask. We're going to be rounding up in a few minutes. Don't want to take much of your time, because one thing I want us to do, listen to this carefully, please. One thing I want us to do is a form of follow-up. Let's discuss this follow-up on the Telegram channel. Join us on the Telegram channel. Let's discuss this, and we'll discuss this based on what happens next, right? Now, based on what happens next, is it going to still push lower, or is it going to reverse a bit? Now, one thing I can also tell you that this candle, right, is very possible. I've seen it too many times. On the next candle or the next 2 candles, it could easily reverse all of this. But based on, listen again, guys, based on the 517 crazy numbers, I might probably not be expecting to reverse this whole candle, especially today, right? Because too many people will be clicking on buy the dollar. And that's why if you look over here, the dollar was actually, as a rush to the upside, as you can see. Well, as was a rush to the upside, you can see for the dollar over here, let me just do something for you guys. I like this. For the dollar over here, you can see that it got to the highs over here. And you can see it is struggling here. And go to the highs over here, struggling. Some people would have been placing some sell positions here. And if you look at the USD JPY, the USD JPY too should be reacting. Euro USD, that's why the Euro USD over here, that's why we're having some buyers. You can see that's why we're having some buyers here. You check USD JPY too, it most likely will be dropping as well over here. You can see we mark this area here. You can see it's dropping over here, reacting to those key areas. Because you also need to pay attention to the key areas based on the dollar, because the DXY, the USD index, is the news of the day. And this is what we have over here. So this area here on the dollar, this is like the last line of defense, which happens to be the highs of this week. Remember, we separated this information for this week to look at it. So you can see that's where we're having some selling positions here. So for this one here, listen guys, for this one here, if you have a close, meaning that the next candle or even this candle, we have about 5 more minutes, maybe the next candle, if it closes above this, then you can as well, you know, close out all your positions. If it closes above the dollar, remember we're following the dollar, we're using the dollar, what's happening to the dollar to trade the Euro USD, to trade the USD JPY, and so on. So if it closes, if you have a close, you can see I'm stressing that aspect of close. If you have a close above this resistance on this dollar for the week, then close it. Close your positions, accept your losses. Or from here, you can start to load up some sell positions, fresh positions over here based on the dollar, and then your stop loss should be above, or you watch the reaction above and see whether you could get down to this area here, because you have an area here. Looking at what we have here, you can see I'm just circling some areas here that have acted as like support or resistance in the past, right? So maybe the price could still get down here before the end of this day, this week, which is today, right? So use the dollar to make some healthy analysis on what's happening, right? I hope we learned 1 or 2 things today based on the news, based on the non-farm payroll, and how to react to it based on what happened the last time, and based on the chart interpretation that we had over here. Remember, it was at an area of support, and then we had the 517, which was a good one for the buy. And you can see it's aligned with this area over here. So if we got the numbers, I repeat, we're refreshing, but we didn't get the numbers on time. We had to sweep back to the chart. When we sweep back to the numbers again, we saw 5 So that's why it's always usually fast. And then as it's fast, some traders also tend to put 2 positions in, meaning that you could have a buy and sell, which looks like a hedge. Right, it looks like a hedge. There's just a lot of things to talk about in this little news period. That's why most times I tell beginners, news is very volatile. It's best for you to sit on your hands if you don't know what's going on. But if you know what's going on, you have a good understanding of how to approach it. For the dollar, you could have placed a buy here prior to that, and to watch it. Meaning that if it buys and it pushes higher, you're looking forward to selling here, or looking forward to selling here. Or if it pushes lower, wait for a pullback here. So there's always different scenarios. There are always different things to look at based on your chart and based on the fundamentals, based on the outcome, right? Because it's the actual information, the outcome, that will help us to know what we're going to be doing. Frances said, thank you. Learned how to interpret the news better. Thank you for that. So Frances, I believe Frances is a lady. I'm sorry. Frances, I'm just looking at the name. So Frances said, thank you. Learned how to interpret the news better. Thank you. What else, guys? Did you guys learn something today? I hope you guys learned something that you can take home. A lady, thank you. I guess that's more from your name, right? I hope you guys learned something, no matter what it is. I hope you guys learned something. Please, let's cross over to the Telegram group and let's continue from there. From the Telegram group, we would discuss some more. And I'm going to post the Telegram group link here for you guys. Yes, it is recorded. You can go back and watch it. It will be placed on the YouTube. That's why you need to follow us on the social media handles. Follow us on all the handles. So when we post this video on the YouTube, you get to watch it and then get to find out what happened, and then maybe towards the end of the day, you find out how we might have managed the trade. Because if you look at the dollar still in front of us, it's still reacting to that resistance, and a close above means that you get out. If you're selling this dollar, a close above, you get out, right? The same thing for Euro USD. A close below, you get out. You can see still reacting to the area because you have people that are doing what? People that have set penny orders there as a last resort. Penny orders are easily sell positions, like a sell limit, and also penny orders are your stop loss and take profit. So you can see that there's a lot happening in that area. Okay. Excuse me. I've been talking a bit too fast, so I'm going to relax a bit as we're going to round up now. So thank you guys for joining us. Jonathan said, I appreciate you, boss. I learned how to interpret the data. Beautiful. So we learned something like this today. Bayomi Agbaje, I think probably you came in. Aha, you said you joined a bit late. Yes, it's recorded. Follow us on the YouTube. Oof, I'm not choking on my own spit. Follow us on the YouTube. Join us on the Telegram, and let's take it up from there. I'm going to be closing this platform now. Monday, Emmanuel said, hey, what is the Telegram group? Okay, I just posted it above you, so you must have seen it. Abayami said, what is the YouTube? Let me do the YouTube for you again, sorry. Okay, that is the YouTube. I just dropped the YouTube for Abayomi and for others that might have joined a bit late to go and watch the replay. Abdul Abdul said, thank you so much. This was really informative. This is my first NFP session and it was worth it. Awesome. So more NFPs to come. Excuse me, sorry about that. I think I need to relax now. I've been talking a bit too fast. I need to drink more water. So we need to run up now, guys. Sorry. Okay, he said, thank you so much. This was really informative. My first NFP. The NFP for me, most times is like a commentary. I think I have hiccups now. Sorry, guys. I have hiccup now. This was your first NFP and it was worth it. Thank you. More NFPs to come. We have 10 more to come. We have for March, April, May, and so on. When I said much love, I always wondered what NFP is, but thanks a lot, finally understood it. Drink more water, Francis. Thank you. I will drink more water, please. So thank you, guys. I'm going to run up now so I can drink more water. I definitely have hiccups now, without a doubt. So thank you, guys. Going to stop the recording for this as well. So catch you guys. Enjoy the weekend. Catch you guys at another time. Join us on the Telegram group, please. You have questions, ask questions there, and then we'll look out some more on the continuous reactions and what's going on. Thank you, guys. Goodbye. Enjoy the weekend. TGF. God bless you. Cheers. Bye.